Good Wednesday evening. It's time for the North Carolina Vinyl Picker Show. And on this episode, I'm going to go into a small dive, a medium dive maybe, a big deep dive into the next 5 weeks. This week, we're going to go ahead and talk about Vertigo records. And I'm going to show you all my Vertigo releases that I have. And in the next 5 weeks, we're going to look into Brain records, Harvest records, Philips records, and or Verb records. We're going to look at those 5 major labels. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. But if you want to go further into it, you could get on Wikipedia and look it all up. And it'll give you a list of all the releases that those major labels back in the day went ahead and released. And a lot of these bands are the bands that I listen to today. So Vertigo was founded in 1969. And the status today is active. The country of origin was the UK, but now it is run by Germany. It's a subsidiary of Philips. And so there you go. And these are the Vertigo records that I have that are reissues. So they don't have the original Vertigo on them. And the first one I'm going to show you is an album by a German band called Grobschnitt. And it's Jumbo. And this is sung in German, but it's not on a Vertigo, but it is a Vertigo release. And if you look on here, it tells you that it's Vertigo Capital. The next one is the album. This was a pivotal album for Vertigo. This is Affinity, the band Affinity. And Linda Hoyle is on the cover there, and she was in the band. This album is done by Bonfire Records. But the original of this is on Vertigo, and it's very expensive, and I do not have it. The next band is called Nucleus, and these guys were on Vertigo, and these guys were on the re-release. So this one here was on a label, and it is called, let me go ahead and get it here. It is Universal Music Operations, courtesy of Mercury Records. It has the Spaceship, but it's a reissue that I picked up in Maryland a couple of years ago. Nucleus is a jazz fusion band. There's another album by Nucleus. This album is called Alley Cat, and it has the Spaceship label, and it's also on that same label. But it was originally released on Vertigo. This one here is album's called Gracious, and this band here, they just did a deep dive on this. You can find it online, and it's the UK guys, him and his grandfather, and they just interviewed the band and everything. But this album was originally issued on Vertigo, and it even has the swirl. But this is a reissue. It's not an official Vertigo. That's why I'm showing you all these first. Then I'm going to show you the ones that are Vertigo, but second pressings. And then last, I'm going to show you the creme de la creme of my collection. And this is Gracious. This is an excellent album. It's prog. And if you love prog, then you need to find this one. I think I found it for like $30, $25 online. Not expensive. There was a second album they did, and then there's also a third album of some unreleased things. But I know it looks like an official, but it's not. It's a bootleg, or it's a repress. And this is Coliseum. This was the very first Vertigo album that was released on Vertigo in 1969, Valentine's Suite. But this is on the Fontana label. And Fontana was a subsidiary of Vertigo. If you look closely at the bottom, you might not be able to see it. It says a Vertigo production. But I do not have and up here, it says he has the Vertigo up here in the corner. But this is not the actual Vertigo swirl for Valentine's Suite. I don't have that one. Okay, moving on. Now these are the Spaceship Vertigos. Now these here were the ones that excuse me, These ones here were the ones that were, these are second pressings of these bands. And this band here I love is my new band for 2024, going into 25. I just picked up another album by them. They only made 3 albums and they were Scottish, and it's called Beggar's Opera. And this is their, I believe it's their second album. And this album is called Pathfinder. It's got a pretty cool cover, and you can see it is on the Spaceship second press of Vertigo. Excellent album. If you like prog, you need to go ahead and find yourself some of this band. Now, these albums here aren't very expensive either. They're in the $20 range, $25 range, $30 at the most. You can pick one up, especially a second press. You can pick that up. Brothers in Arms, Dire Straits. This is a Canadian Vertigo second press. It doesn't have the Spaceship label, but it does have a like a special insert there in the middle for the Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms. The thing sounds incredible. All these records sound incredible. They sound very good. Genesis 3 Sides Live. This one has the Spaceship. And this is a second press of 3 Sides Live Genesis. Excuse me. The next one is Gentle Giant. And this is their first album. And this is the Vertigo on the Spaceship. It's not a first press. That thing sounds incredible. And I picked this up for a really good price. If you go online, you can pick them up. You just put in Vertigo like in Discogs. And then when they come up, if you get a daily reminder, sometimes they'll put on there, sell. They just want to go ahead and sell it. You don't have to bid on it or nothing like that. You don't have to wait. It's just, just grab it. On eBay, I mean. Because sometimes on eBay, they want you to bid. It takes 6 days. Sometimes they just put them in there and they say, $25, no shipping, or $5 shipping. And then you can pick up some really good titles on these Vertigos. I shouldn't be telling you this because I'm still looking for them, but it's okay. The Picker's is doing good. I've been on a Le Orme kick. It's an Italian progressive band, but I'll be showing a couple of their albums this coming Sunday. Gentle Giant, Giant Steps, the first 5 years. Yeah, this is like a compilation of their first couple albums, and that is on the Spaceship label. Second press. Pretentious, For the Sake of It, Gentle Giant, another compilation album. It's on the Vertigo Spaceship label. Another Gentle Giant. This is Three Friends. And this one's on the Spaceship. I said these are the creme de la creme. These are some of the best albums in my collection. I'm just sharing them with you this evening. And next week we're gonna do what did I say we're gonna do? We're gonna look into the records from Brain. It's a German company that made records. We're gonna do them next week, next Wednesday. Next album I'm gonna show you is Jade Warrior, and this is Last Autumn's Dream. This is a very good band. If you like prog, again, you need to check out Jade Warrior. And this is the Spaceship label. Second press. Jane Schaefer. This guy here is from the Netherlands, I believe. He's an awesome guitarist. And if you like to listen to some jazz fusion, prog rock guitarist, this guy also later in his life was on a lot of the albums by ABBA. I guess he just needed some money. But these albums, his early prog albums, are, look at that picture, man. It just tells you got to pick this one up. And this is on the second press of the Spaceship on the Vertigo. Check out Jane Schaefer. You can stream him. As soon as you stream him, you're going to want to buy one of his records. He's got 4 or 5 early albums. They're all really good. Space Hymns is the next one. This one here has been shown a lot online. I've seen it. The original OG of this is the Spaceship, but the original Vertigo with the swirl, it comes out to a huge giant poster. Yeah, this guy, to read the story about Ramses, this guy here thought he was Egyptian pharaoh that was reincarnated, him and his wife. They made this record. This album is incredible. So if you don't have Space Hymns or never heard it, if you love prog, you need to go ahead and stream this or try to find you a copy. I'd love to find me an original OG of this, but as of now, I don't have one. And so I got the second press for this for right now, because I'd love to have that poster. I don't know where I'd put it, but you would need a huge frame. It's like, it folds out to like 12 different cubes, a 12 by 12. Next one is this guy here. This is a German guy. His name is Toto Blank, and this album is called Spider's Dance. This is a Spaceship, second press of Toto Blank. And if you like prog with a little bit of jazz fusion influence, then you would love Toto Blank. Check him out online on streaming. All these bands are just awesome. Anything that's on Vertigo is awesome. I'll tell you right now, if you love prog or jazz fusion, then you owe it to yourself to check these bands out. Toto Blank. And here's his first album. This one's called Electric Circus. And this one here is on the Spaceship. Now, I've been listening to this guy here probably for 35, 40 years. I originally had these in my first record collection. Jazz fusion. Last one of the Spaceship is an album by the Spencer Davis Group. This was after Steve Winwood left the band, and that's on the Spaceship label. Second press, Spencer Davis Group. Now, you can go online to Vertigo. It'll show you in there. It'll give you a list of all the releases that were released on Vertigo. And then you can search them all out. You know, even bands like, what's his name? I can see his face. Jim Croce. He was on Vertigo. Dire Straits. Rod Stewart. There's a lot of bands that you wouldn't think that would be on Vertigo, but they were. This one here. Now we're going to get to the top. These are my 6 albums. These are my 6 that are Vertigo swirls in my collection. These are the creme de la creme. This is the top of my collection. Gentle Giant, Acquiring the Taste. It's Gentle Giant's 3rd album, I believe. And it's on the Vertigo with the swirl. And I'll take it out to show you all. Here's the swirl. And that's Gentle Giant, Acquiring the Taste. The next one is Ian Matthews. And I believe he was in Fairport Convention. For the longest time, I didn't know who he was. And it's on the Vertigo swirl. And this is the album. And this one you can pick up cheap. If you like folk music, there was a lot of folk music that was done on the Vertigo label as well. And this album is really cool. It's really good, and it's kind of a country folk sound to it. It's Ian Matthews. He made 2 or 3 albums after he left Fairport Convention. He was on their first 2 or 3 albums, and then he left. And yeah, Jade Warrior. There's another Jade Warrior, and this album is their first album. This one's on Vertigo, and it's the swirl. It's the first pressing. Jade Warrior's albums are very good. If you like prog, Jade Warrior's album, these are very accessible. You can pick these up for about $25 a piece. And it's very good music. If you don't know Jade Warrior, check them out. Here's another one of their albums. This one, I think, is their 5th album. This one is called Released. It's on the Vertigo. It's the swirl. And then this one here I just picked up the other day. So this one here was just a gift, an absolute freaking, I just couldn't believe it when I seen it online. And the guy had it on there for like $25. This is like a $75 to $100 record. And it's Rod Stewart, his 2nd album, Gasoline Alley, with a different cover. It's a UK. It's the Vertigo. And it's mint. It's like mint. And it was like $20, $25 with shipping. And like I say, that album goes for like 75 to 100 and a quarter. It's an expensive album. And speaking of expensive albums, this is Rod Stewart's first album. And in the United States, it was a yellow cover, just a yellow cover. But in England, it was called An Old Raincoat Won't Ever Let You Down. And it's the Vertigo. And I got this one at a good price too, for what it's worth. These two Rod Stewart albums, the early Rod Stewart is really good. Probably my favorite, his first 5 albums. But the American releases of both these albums had different covers. So you're probably not used to seeing this. This was just a yellow cover on this. I have a copy next my name in my record room. But it's a yellow cover. It just says the Rod Stewart album. But actually, this is what it was originally. And it's got Street Fighting Man, the Rolling Stones song, and Handbags and Glad Rags. And I love these 2 albums. They're great. So that's it. That's all of my Vertigos. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you do, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That way you know the next time the North Carolina Final Picker will be back. And I will be back this coming Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. And next Wednesday, we'll talk about Brain Records. I'm hoping to get a Brain shirt or a Vertigo shirt. That'd be cool too. But anyway, we're going to do, like I said, the next 5 weeks. On Wednesday, we'll do that. And then on this coming Sunday, we're going to get into 1991. We're getting into the 90s now, where I'm showing CDs and stuff, because that was the CD era. That's the way it was back then. So thanks for watching, and we'll be seeing you soon. And got to go. So we'll talk to you soon. Support the troops. And North Carolina Vinyl Picker, I'm out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great rest of your week out there. Be safe.